Folks, today we're in for a twofer. One, we've got some brand new stainless steel exhaust from Lyle's that we're going to be installing on Dale Jr. And hopefully we'll get a first start on this LS swap. So stay tuned. For those of you guys who have been around for a long time, you remember Dale the truck. And that was my 77 C10 that we installed a Lyle's stainless steel exhaust system on with the B52 mufflers. It sounded a whole lot like this. And man, didn't it sound awesome. Lyle's has partnered up with us again for one more install, and this time we're going with the F14s instead of the B52s. And we've got some resonators just in case it's a little bit too loud. But for now, we're going to be installing these. It's a complete system that I made up myself from their website. I will leave the link in the description box down below to everything that I use from Lyle's and not have to worry about crazy shipping from the US. Lyle's is the answer. And if you're in the US, I'm sure they'll work with you. Either way, let's lay everything out, see what we've got, and start working on getting this thing installed on Dale Jr. So what we've got is our down pipes come down from the manifolds and then enter into an X pipe. With any luck, the X pipe will cross over right in here underneath between the yoke and the steady bearing, and then back out of the X into the mufflers, which should fit right up in this area, and then come out into the tail pipes, which with any luck go out right through this hole right here. This side we're going to have a little bit of a difference because we've got to make sure that we're going to clear the spare tire well here on the Suburban. The half tons obviously don't have this, but I think we should still be able to come out in front of the shackle and back this way. At least that's what I'm hoping. We've also got our very own flanges that we've got to weld on, get them bolted up, do all that stuff. And as it sits right now, I don't have any help, so I'm hoping help will show up a little bit later. But in the meantime, the first thing we got to do is get our flanges bolted up to our manifolds, get that hardware ready, and then mark where our down pipes have got to go in relationship to these, make sure they're level coming back, and that everything else is going to line up from there on out. So let me figure around with that for a little bit and get started on our Lyle's stainless steel exhaust for old Dale Jr. here. I am getting excited for this because not only do I want to hear it run, I want to hear how it sounds when it runs with that truck Norris cam and this Lyle's stainless steel exhaust. Did you see my short video from yesterday afternoon? If not, here it is. It's Friday afternoon. It's about 25 minutes to 3. We're working on putting the exhaust on Dale Jr. here. So there's the exhaust, and for the last hour and a half or so, I've been frigging around with trying to get the angle of this downpipe set properly coming out of the manifolds. And as a guy who is easily discouraged by his own inabilities, is frustrated. Because I don't know how to weld, because I have to go looking for tools all over the place in a working shop that apparently nobody puts shit back, it's frustrating me. And I've just said, fuck it, and I'm gonna go drink some beer. So that is what you do. Am I right? Or am I right? Oh, it pisses me off. Can't find shit. Tools all over the place. Nothing gets back to where it's supposed to be. We were frustrated. The universe did not want me working on this exhaust system yesterday afternoon. I was kind of okay with it when everything was all said and done. But now it's Saturday morning. Fresh mindset. I didn't even hit the record button until I kind of got things started and under control again. So let me show you where we're at. And one of the things that have me frustrated, as you guys know, I said yesterday I didn't know how to weld. I do know how to weld. I'm just not good at it. And that's a bit frustrating. So when you're doing exhaust and you're working by yourself and you don't have the proper equipment like stands and clamps and all that type of thing, you probably should have two guys. One guy to help you hold stuff and one guy to hold a flashlight and another guy. Anyways, long story short, we've got the first down pipe fixed. Let me show you what we had to do to get there. So what we were working with is we've got the manifold coming down here. We've got to be able to pull the downpipe out. Well, this little ear was in the way on the transmission bell housing. So we cut it off. It's not used. Then we came down and we had the transmission cooler lines a little bit in the way. Had to get them out of the way, no big deal. And my third set of hands is this rope, which I've draped across the transmission cross member, which is from Tejas Steelworks, cut out for the exhaust, kudos to them. So I would just set the exhaust tip up in there, the end of the pipe. I put it up to here once I figured out what the angle was, and then I could just tack it into place. I then pulled it down, took it over to the bench, and I am proceeding to tack it into place permanently. Again, I'm no welder, but I think if I just keep going around with some spot welds like that, eventually they'll all kick together. Should be all right. The other option is to wait for reinforcements to arrive. I don't know when they're coming. Dad, I asked him if he'd give me a hand today. Just, again, extra set of hands, and he can weld. In hopes that we can actually get this exhaust, at the very least, put together enough so we can hook up the O2 sensor, put some transmission fluid in the transmission, fuel in the tank, and start this LS swap for the very first time in Dale Jr. So I'm going to get back to welding this thing up. Then we can start over here on the driver's side and start working our way back, which all this should be fairly easy. Getting the X pipe, the mufflers, tailpipes, and everything else put to bed up through here. So let's get to welding. That's what I call it. I'm not even sure if I should show you what I did. I told you, I'm not a welder. I'm gonna have to get reinforcements to come back and fix this for me. Just note that before you're down in the comments section criticizing me on my welding skills. Because you telling me how to do it in the comments doesn't help me today. Just remember that. So again, being a welder, I don't know if I've got too much, too little heat, not enough speed, blah, blah, blah. But there's my welding. I took the wire brush to it and cleaned all the shit off of it. But I think it's going to hold on there for now until we get the other side done. And then we can start piecing together everything that, that needs to be pieced together to finish this exhaust. So I'm going to go start working on the driver's side downpipe, and we'll go from there. So I guess we're at a point right now where I don't have the pipe that I need. No fault of anybody's but my own. I ordered this kit for a Chevy C10, the tailpipes. These tailpipes are mostly going to work, but not without some modification, because the gas tank on a Suburban is in the back, and where these pipes come in, they kind of come in a little bit like this before they go out. So we're going to have to modify those. But as you can see, I've got the F14 mufflers stuck up into the down pipes, and we're about to hook up the O2 sensor. I've got that welded, I've got that bung welded in so that we can put some gas in it, fill the tranny, go through the steps on the Holley Terminator X Max to get this thing so we can possibly turn it over for the first time and make it run. So let me get this O2 sensor connected. We'll put some gas in, fill the tranny, see if we can get this thing running. At least we can do that today. Already never sees on that. So hopefully, if I calculated properly, I've got this so that it can spin in there, get it locked into place. And then I can plug it back in, and the exhaust can actually read everything coming out of the engine, the exhaust pipes, and that was what was kind of holding us back from doing this to begin with, was with no exhaust, you can't run this Holley setup because it doesn't have the proper readings coming out of the tailpipe to adjust the air fuel mixture. So now that we've got that on there, we are going to plug it back in to our plug, which went where? Where did you go? Oh, right there. And then for now, we will kind of just zip tie that up away from the exhaust and the shifter so that it's not going to be a problem down the road. All right, we'll get a zip tie on that, and we'll get some gas in this thing. A couple of things that we've got to check too is to make sure that we got no leaks going down the filler tube, because we're struggling a little bit getting that big one on. So hopefully there's no leaks there, and that's one less thing that we've got to worry about. I don't see any drips on the floor, so let's get this in. This is going to be wet. This is 5 gallons. All right, so we got this 5 gallons in there. That should be 1/8 of a tank. This is a 40-gallon tank, and with any luck, we should at least see a little bit of something on the gas gauge when we turn that key forward to indicate that the gas level gauge is working. So let's go check that. Well, it came up just a little bit, but not all the way pinned to the full mark, which is a good indicator that we got a ground and that it should be reading should there be more fuel in it. So we'll chalk that one up to the remains to be seen if the fuel gauge is working. 5 gallons in it should be enough to get this thing started on its first go. So let's go put some transmission fluid in it, and then we can do the programming through the Holley Terminator X Max handheld. Get this thing set to crank up and start for the first time. All right, so we've got the transmission fluid in. It's got some gas in it. Filled up the radiator. That took almost 4 gallons. And we've got our little screen hooked up here, so we're about ready to put the ignition on, go through the steps necessary to program this thing, and hopefully kick it over and it starts. Anyways, let's go through it, see what happens. So I'll try and make sure that this is all good for you guys and that I can see it as well. Please run the wizard to calibrate. The first thing it asks is multi-port fuel injection, so yes. Next. GMLS, next. 8 cylinders. Firing order, cubic inches. So we can do cubic inches or we can do liters. So we're going to do liters just because I know what it is. 5.3. Next, target idle speed. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. So maybe we're going to slide this over to 670-ish. Camshaft specs. So the truck north for the LS is 212, so it's below 235. And, oh goodness, 24 tooth, I believe. Fuel pressure, we want 60. Injectors. GM OEM. I knew this question was coming, and I'm not sure which part number I need. I gotta go look that one up too. Hang on one sec. So guys, this video is not meant to be a tutorial on how to set this thing up. There's lots of videos out there to do that. Spider Garage did an excellent one. Go check them out. I'll leave a link right up here for you. All I want to do now is that I've been through this setup is to prime the fuel system. And I can hear it doing its thing. And I'm just waiting for the fuel pressure regulator dial to start moving up before I start cranking on this thing. So there's a fuel pressure regulator. Let's prime this thing a few more times. So one thing that we did not, or was not able to do, was prime the oil pump in the engine. And multiple people told me that just send it. Crank her up, let it run that initial few seconds, see what happens, then you can check your valve cover. Look down and see if there's oil there. If there's not, well, then you gotta worry about it, but if there is, probably fine. When this thing starts spinning up at higher speeds, it should prime that engine, no problem. Let's get in the run a feed, see what happens. Ready? All right. Great first start. So while we're waiting to boil up that battery for a few minutes, you notice we got this thing back in the shop again. Junior is getting ready to yank out the 4.6 V8, and he's going to be using that for his car because, as we know, his car's got a slight knocking issue. Remember this video right here? Yeah, if you don't remember it, I'm going to play a clip right now and you guys will be able to tell the sound that we were having. This engine here is going to be the donor replacement. At some point, Junior is looking to sell his 2010? 13 Shorty, two-wheel drive, Ford pickup he bought. He's doing a little bit of fixer-up on that and hoping that that will be...
Funds for some hot cams on that.
Yeah, hot cams from ADTR. And we've got the whole new timing set out of the other engine. We'll just swap it over to this one. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that at all. We do know that this engine for sure, 100%, needs a water pump. So make sure you have a water pump on your list of things to do. But by the looks of it, this thing is just about ready to yank out.
Needle doesn't move. Feel less compression.
So we're trying to determine why we're not getting fuel, if we got a bad pressure regulator or not. We took some brake cleaner, sprayed it in here. And Dad cranked it over. At least we know it runs.
Plus.
That's a plus. And it sounds good. So we got to figure out why we're not getting fuel. Question is, does that fuel pressure regulator, without the boost on the engine, require a vacuum signal?
Well, isn't that what that whole thing is
I think
outside?
that's if you're running boost, needs a boost reference.
I'm not sure. I don't know. This is my first business, so. Let's see before you go any further, do some little research. See what they're saying about it.
Well, I'll go check my, I gotta, these instructions for that boost. You know your problem with fuel, isn't it? Plus fuel, yeah.
As soon as you give it fuel, it fires right up, so.
Yep,
If you had fuel, she would have started and ran.
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that sounded good, didn't it? Beepy. Beepy. Now I'm excited to hear it running idle.
I think we found out what the problem was. Is I've got these lines, these fuel lines labeled S and R, supply and return, and I've got the supply going up into the return. So we've got to get those swapped around, which means I think we got to change a couple of ends because I got a right angle here and one straight. So we get that switched around, and we should have fuel going to it.
What's the pressure supposed to be?
58 or 60, I guess, close to 60, I guess.
There's you going up now. You're at,
Where did it just go to?
you're only at 30. You're at 30, but
All right, so we lost our Allen wrench down in the fender. Supposed to do that while it's running anyway. Go cycle the key for me again. See where it goes. Hit one more time. That's at 58 right there. Now, should start and run. Oh, we're getting fuel there. Air.
It just started getting there.
I think it just needs to purge the air out.
what's you doing now?
Hold the throttle open just a slight bit, see if that helps.
Throttle hooked up?
Yeah, I can control it right here.
You ain't get your hand there. That sounds promising. Oh, it's got the roof.
It's amazing what a little more brake cleaner does for it.
Not getting the. Not getting enough fuel yet, is it? Somewhere through there.
if you can find it. I'm trying to find out where to find that stuff. Dash setup.
You have your gauge hooked up, don't you, to this terminator?
It's all plugged in, yep.
Yeah.
Sensors. Map. Coolant temp's working. TPS is working. Coolant temp's working over here. Can't seem to find my oil pressure.
Oil pressure right here. I'll tell you now. I try and crank it.
Oh yeah. 50. All kinds. 50 PSI.
She sounds good.
Put another half bottle in.
All right, it's now Sunday, and I don't even know where we left off in all the excitement of getting this thing running yesterday. Now that we've got it running, there's two things that we've got left to do to get it so that we can actually drive it down the road. One is we've got to hook up the electric fan. I've got to run the wire inside to the Holly so that the Holly can command it to turn the fans on. The second thing is the drive shaft. As you can see, the center support plate does not line up the way it did from the factory. It's supposed, these holes here are supposed to line up with those, and they don't. And on this side, the plate doesn't come back far enough. So I think what we've got to do is take the carrier bearing off that plate and slot the holes to slide that plate back a bit. And that should give us the room that we need to bolt that down, so that we can take the remaining half of our drive shaft, slide it into there, and connect it to there. So we can make sure that our transmission actually goes into gear, and B, that it actually will move this beast. And hopefully we can take it for at least a ride around the building. So let's get the camera set up. We'll start taking the steady bearing apart. I guess we'll have to take it apart because it's really, it's just sitting there, but we got to get the carrier bearing off that plate. So let's get that done. Well, once again, this amateur did not press record during all of that, but we did get the drive shaft installed. We are connected back here at the differential. Everything's tight. We managed to get the bolts slotted in the bracket up there to slide that forward, and all of our 4 bolts here, they lined up, and yes, it's sticking out a little bit there. And we've got our front straps on the transmission. So now we can let it down, hook up that control wire for the electric fans, and then start it, bring it up to temperature, make sure that those fans are actually kicking on. Oh, and then we can check the gears, make sure it's going to go back and forth. So, which I have no doubt that it won't. But anyways, let's get up there and get that wire hooked up. I guess we got to take a step back. We're going to check the transmission, make sure that it's going to go forward and backwards first, because in order to get inside there and get that wire connected, I got to be able to get the passenger side door open all the way, and the hoist is in the way. So let's check the transmission fluid, make sure she's going to go into gear, roll her back, then we can get that thing set in place. Transmission things are happening. It initially went backwards, then came forward. When I went to shift it into reverse again, it wanted to die right down. So maybe that idle is set a little too something, but also maybe our throttle position sensor is not tuned to the spot it's supposed to be. Either way, it moves. So let's get that wire hooked up, and then we can we'll check the transmission fluid, all that stuff, clean up our shit, and then maybe take this thing for a little spin around the building, maybe down the road. So this black 8-pinned plug is what we're looking for. And this is something that Holly allows you to add a few things to if you want. There's a couple of things that we do need. 1 and 2 are fan 1 and 2 control. I've got them hooked up together. So I think if we turn fan 1 on, they're both going to come on anyway. And I think fan 2 might be, if the AC kicks on, it will kick in the second fan to pull more air through the condenser. We're going to start with just fan 1, see what happens there. A couple of other things that I've got labeled here that I think I got to hook up is IAC kick, is how I've got it labeled. And that could be to do with when it goes into gear, that it opens up that IAC a little bit, get it more air or something. I don't know. I got to go look at the book. And then the other one is AC cut off at wide open throttle. So if I hammer down on this, it'll shut the AC down temporarily. And as soon as I let off, it'll kick back in if the AC is on. Right now, our only concern is, or our major concern is just these fans. So we've got fan number 1. We're going to run it out through the firewall, connect it to the white wire under there, and then we'll get this plugged in here as well. If I can find the plug that it goes to. Don't mind this. I'm looking for an 8-pin plug somewhere that this just plugs into. Not there. Not off of that. Oh, what's this right here? Right there. It's even got matching color wires. Go figure. So we plug that into that. And then we're going to find our fan 1, which in this case is gray with a yellow stripe. And find our grommet that goes through the firewall. There's one right there that I think I used for the amplifier power. So there's that. I'll shove that out through there. And again, we're only going to be plugging this in temporarily because clearly I've still got to clean all of this up. We're going to be coming back to this glove box fiasco at some point because we got to make room to hide all these wires in a square body. There's not much room up in there. So right here is our fan wire that we've got to connect this white wire to, coming out of the fan relay. So again, temporarily, we're just going to run this up along the firewall and clip those two together. We'll start it up, let it run to get up to temperature and see if the fans kick on when they're supposed to. So there's nothing more permanent than a temporary fix. We're just going to twist those two wires together. And we're going to use some electrical tape just so it doesn't fall and hit on something it's not supposed to. And we'll come back to you. So we'll just take this, stick it right here around the fuel filter, because 12 volts and fuel goes good. And we'll just pull this back out of the way a little bit. So we'll open the garage door, we'll stick the rear end out so that we're getting the fumes out, and see if we can get this thing up to temperature via keeping an eye on the gauge and see when it comes on. I think it's supposed to come on somewhere around 175 maybe 180. Anyway, let's see what happens. So the manual temperature gauge goes up significantly higher than what the actual coolant temp sensor is showing. Now they are reading from two different portions of the cooling system. This one is reading from the head, and the gauge is reading from the water pump. So neither one of the fans are moving yet. We are up to 179 degrees. Charging 14.2. And for those of you guys who were concerned about two things. One, oh, that thing doesn't sound like it's got a cam in it. Can you hear it now? Secondly, the oil pressure and the priming issue that I had where I couldn't get it to prime. There's all kinds of oil pressure. Pay no attention to that. So, still no fans. But I do see here where it says fan 1, fan 2 on and off. I wonder if there's a way I can control them through here, but I want to wait and see if they come on by themselves. Man, these F14 mufflers sound amazing. I can't wait to get tailpipes on them. So it says that fan 1 is on. Let's go check it out. And it looks like both fans are on. And don't worry about the smoke, it's just blowing the new stuff off. We got a little bit of a fuel leak over here though. So fans came on all right, but we got a pretty significant fuel leak right here, dripping all the way down onto the exhaust, you know, and the exhaust is good and coated with fuel, so. All right, new line on. Let's try her again. So far, so good. Let's prime it one more time. Well, start her up. Damn it. Why are you leaking? Well, that fuel line is a little bit better than it was. It's not dripping anymore, but it is still getting the actual line, the fabric part of the line wet. So I'm gonna go make a new line. That's over at my garage. So I think I'm gonna do that inside. My garage is a little bit cooler than over here. So that'll be something I can work on down the road. In the meantime, we accomplished everything that we wanted to do in this video, mostly. We did get mufflers on, even though they're not permanent. We still got lots of exhaust work to do. We got it to start. We got the fans to come on. We got it up to temperature. It's got oil pressure. Drive shaft is hooked up, and the steady bearing, it goes into gear. We've pulled it in and out of the garage here a couple of times. So the last thing that I wanted to do in this video, as I told you guys earlier, was I wanted to drive it. I said it would run and drive. Well, we're not going far. We're going from here over to my garage. So that'll be the drive portion of this video. Guys, don't forget, check out the merchandise store. It's the first link in the description box down below where you can pick up your very own Olde Carr Guy hat, t-shirts, hoodies, beer koozies, stickers. It helps support things like this so that we can have fun and I can share it with you guys. Stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. I love you guys. God bless. Let's take this thing for the first drive with the new LS in it.